Good evening, hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about all about Geminis. Today is VCB Nix's birthday. Happy birthday. Um, so Gemini is the third sign in the zodiac. It goes from May 22nd till June 21st, which is the first day of summer. So we're getting there. You couldn't tell it now because it's raining where I'm at. So but Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury, the planet of communication, and it is the sign of twins. So you may have uh, heard signs switching sides like Gemini, like there are two sides to them. That's very much true. There's like a very public side to them, and then there's a very introverted sign to them. They're an air sign. They are the let me think, second uh, air sign, and they're very sociable. They're social. They're the most. I would say the most sociable of the air sign, and they're mutable. They're very adept with change. And a lot of times with their communication, it can get them into a bit of trouble. Our president, I'm not going to get into that, but he happens to be a Gemini. Case in point, a lot of things he says gets him in trouble. As with Kanye, he's also a Gemini. So if you need examples of Geminis getting in trouble with what they say, there's two of them. uh, they like change. They get bored very easily, and they're also they're fascinating to be around because when I was thinking about this video, I know there's a woman that works in town, and she owns a metaphysical shop in town, and she definitely has. She's a Gemini, but she definitely has that two type of brain because she's very logical, where she worked for many years as a scientist. So she has that one side of her brain where it's like very logical, thinking about math, science, all that sort of thing. And then she has the other side where she's just absolutely fascinated with everything metaphysical, manifesting, everything to do with like um, crystal balls, tarot decks, fairies. I mean, just the whole thing. Like you would normally think those two things don't go together at all, and most of the time she'd be right because those two things, those two worlds, they they don't go together at all. But with her in particular, they do. They work. They meld perfectly together with her, and she does just a fabulous job. What she's done in the shop is just beautiful. But she's the best example I know of a Gemini really using both sides of her brain and doing two completely different things and doing them tremendously well. And just, anybody else, I mean, I couldn't do it. So, but she does it and does it, like I said, tremendously well. And it's like she did it because it's like, well, if I didn't do it, I'd be just bored. And they love to learn. They're always fascinated by like so many things. They're always learning about different things all the time. They're reading up. They love to travel. Um, and their friends, they're very loyal to them, but it's like the amount of friends that they have, that's all they really want. And as far as them being public and private, like they can deal with being out in public at times, but then when they want their private time, I mean, they really just want to be like alone. And I think a lot of that has to do with they need that time to just decompress and just like recharge their batteries, and they can be alone and like unplug and like literally unplug, like be without like any social media, their phones, anything, and kind of like be content to like live off the grid for maybe not all of the time, but a little bit of the time. I think too they're a little bit they're probably the next to like maybe my sign Scorpio, the most misunderstood of all the sign. Like you always hear about them being told like, well, they're two faced or they're backstabbing, and they're really not. They just have a very amount of interest, and it's like Marilyn Monroe. She was uh, a Gemini, and she was presented as like this blonde bombshell, and everyone thought she was just, the quintessential dumb blonde. But actually, she was very smart. She read a ton, and she knew a lot. But a lot of people thought because behind the scenes, she's incredibly insecure all the time, um, and that led to her abusing drugs and alcohol, and she had several failed marriages and relationships. They just thought of her just being this one way when actually she was completely another way. And it bothered her tremendously, and she just could not shake that image. And I think Geminis have a tremendous problem with that. Like they're just seen like this one way, and of course, everybody is not just a one-dimensional person; they're multifaceted, and so yeah. But there are pluses, and there's quite a few of them. As I was saying about this, I know quite a few Geminis, and a lot of them have birthdays this month, and a lot of them I've already said happy birthday to, and if not, I will later on this upcoming weeks and month. And so, happy birthday to you all. But as I said, they're very loyal, and if you ever ask them anything like a question like, "Should I break up with my boyfriend? Do I look do I look like I should lose some weight?" Like as opposed to other air counterpart signs like Libra and Aquarius. Aquarius will think, "Do I want this drama?" They'll step away, and Libra will think, "Well, no." They'll say something like, "Well, what do you think?" As opposed to like, "Well, I don't want to say anything to hurt anyone's feelings." But a Gemini will say, "Yes, dump your boyfriend. You're not being happy. It's not going anywhere. Dump them. Yes, you probably should lose a few lbs." Like they don't say it to be mean. They're just saying it because energy and time is, quintessential to them. They don't want to waste energy on something that's not going to work. They want to make themselves happy, productive, and do things that will have an end result. They don't want to waste their time at like a job that's not going to fulfill them. They don't want to study something that they hate. They're just always about like, I have so much time. I want to do something that means something to me. And they want people that will tell them the truth rather than lying. So that's why they're so blunt. And it's not a bad thing at all. Um, Not everybody wants to hear the truth quite that bluntly, but you can't fault them for that either. Mercury being their planet, uh, it can come out maybe not the best way. um, but they're always thinking. They're always up for about anything. They're always wanting to try something new. They're like the best people, to be around, and they just know about everybody. Like I've never about all of my Gemini friends that you out walking with them, and I swear everybody knows who they are. So, so yeah, they are like the funnest people to be around. So the only negative is dating them. They do have a tendency to be very flirty. So just be mindful of that. That could be a deal breaker for some of them. But but yeah, so that's all I have about Gemini. So I hope you like this video. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.